the PDC, the last PDC, 2 weeks ago, has identified a strong commitment on asynchrony with Visual Studio Async CTP. Can you tell us more about async and await keywords?
Yeah, so asynchronous programming is really important for reliability, for scalability, for responsive UIs, and so on. And as a result, in .NET, we've had a variety of asynchronous programming models since V1 of .NET. We had the asynchronous programming model, APM, the begin-end pattern, which has existed since the beginning of .NET. And in .NET 2.0, we have the event-based asynchronous pattern where you can kick off operations and events get raised. Both of those patterns are typically sufficient for kind of one-off operations, but they start to get really complicated and really difficult to use when you want to start doing any kind of composition. If you want to do multiple asynchronous operations one after the other, or if you want to launch multiple asynchronous operations and do something when they're all done or when any of them completes, it requires a lot of code, very difficult to write, especially when you start factoring in things like exception handling and cancellation and so on. And so the Visual Studio Async CTP is a stab at addressing that by taking advantage of language support. So one of the things that compilers are really, really good at is transforming your code, allowing you to write high-level code that looks like one thing and transforming it, writing all the boilerplate in effect that you would otherwise have to write to do something. So with the Async CTP, we take advantage of that really strong compiler capability to allow you to write synchronous-looking code, write code as in the same sequential fashion that you would normally do, but have it actually be asynchronous, such that when you are waiting for an asynchronous operation, you're not actually blocking whatever thread you are currently on, nor are you spinning up additional background threads unless you actually ask to do so. What this means is, from a UI application, we can just write in an event handler, we can write some code, and if we want to launch a web request or something, we can just launch it and await it. And while we're awaiting it, the UI thread is responsive, we're not spinning up any additional threads in the background, and so on. For server applications, this means we can write our ASP.NET code or our WCF code, and for launching, if in the middle tier we're getting incoming requests and we're launching multiple outgoing requests to other web services to implement that one request and to service that one request, we can do that all asynchronously without burning threads on the server, achieving much greater scalability. So the Async CTP is really kind of the way that with both C# and Visual Basic, just like F# already has with async workflows, for really making it almost as easy as synchronous programming for developers to write asynchronous code.
There are some discussion about await keyword regarding its semantic, because sometimes we think it's better to write yield await. And what do you think about this discussion about await?
So I happen to like the await keyword. I think of it as an asynchronous wait, so await. It also has a nice ring to it. We're awaiting something. I do understand that people potentially want a keyword that is more explicit, that it's exiting the function temporarily. And so I know folks have been asking for something like yield await or yield return and so forth.
Like a yield return before?
Right. So I personally like await. I know the folks on the C# language team happen to like it as well, but the feedback is great. So if folks do have ideas for things they'd like it to be seen, they should definitely let us know.